Thank you for viewing the update on the visioning process for the Unitarian Universalist Church of Charlotte, originally seen by the congregation on January 30th, 2016. During this presentation, we'll include some background on the vision process itself, we'll present the vision framework that we've created, and we'll invite you to submit comments and feedback on what you've seen. The Vision Steering Team was formed by a subgroup of the board back in 2014 and consists of co-chairs Michael Elder and Fred Dodson, Rebecca Visco, Bob Gorman, Jen Neitzel, Gilbert Bailey, Jan McNeely, board liaison Megan Van Fleet, and staff liaison Jay Leach. The Vision Steering Team was formed and started its work in the spring of 2014. The Vision Steering Team established by the Board of Trustees to create an opportunity to look 20 to 25 years in the future in order to inform our work today. The board wanted to know what an inspiring UUCC of the 21st century would look like, and they had 3 additional questions. How will we define ourselves as a congregation? What will our voice and face in the community be? And what impact will we be making in the congregation and in the community? The charge from the board was to create a broad vision, but one that would define who we would work toward becoming today. We have done extensive research into how this region will change over the next 25 years, including the growing economic disparity, non-Latino whites becoming a minority, the millennial generation with its unique attributes becoming the largest age cohort, and the decline of participation in religious organizations. We've also talked with about 300 of you over the last year and a half in various settings about what you envision for the congregation. We met with targeted groups of members as well as open forums for the whole congregation. And the process continues. After today, we'll take your feedback and continue refining our vision statement and framework. Once we present and gain consensus, the final step of the process will be congregational approval at the June congregational conversation organized by the board. So once the board tasked the Vision Steering Team with leading this process, we began exploring how other organizations described their visions, their futures, and decided that crafting a vision statement based on the desires of the congregation would best suit our needs. So we think it's important to educate the congregation on what a vision statement is and what it does and does not do. Most typically, a vision statement is a broad aspirational statement about a future state. It is a picture of where an organization wants to be in the future. It includes some commentary on why people should work to create the vision. It is a clear description of what the organization should look like after the strategies have been implemented and we achieve our full potential. Vision statements describe a future state. They should be informative. They should be achievable and genuine, but also challenging and compelling. What vision statements are not are operational plans. They are not lists of programs that we can implement tomorrow to achieve the vision. That work is to be done once the vision is clear, once we know what we're working toward. Here is a general framework for how a vision will fit into our current structure. The vision is the largest umbrella for our congregation, and all of our assets fall under it. You can think of the vision as the lens or the filter through which all of our work passes. Assuming the vision is approved by the congregation in June, all of our assets, our mission, our ends, and our work going forward will be assessed by their capacity to move us toward our shared vision. From you, we heard many common themes about where you see us headed. Transformation stood out as an overarching guiding concept that many of you said was important to you, and you saw those changes taking place in 3 key dimensions. The proposed vision statement is, as a loving, liberal religious community, we are inspiring spiritual, societal, and environmental transformation of our individual members, our congregation, and our region. The dimensions of transformation overlap. At the center of this overlap is where we find the UUCC. We view each of these dimensions as equally important to our lives and are not hierarchical. Each dimension affords us many opportunities for growth and transformation, and we have expounded each with several examples of what a congregation realizing this vision will look like in the future. Our spiritual transformation looks like this. We are a welcoming and joyful community, inspiring spiritual awareness and spiritual practices that cultivate meaning and connection for our members, our congregation, and our region. Our love and respect for the worth and dignity of every person is creating a liberating environment that nurtures and challenges our members, our congregation, and our region to experience greater spiritual meaning and depth. We are known throughout the region for our open-mindedness, inclusivity, and acceptance of and engagement with other spiritual communities and practices. Our spiritual awareness and spiritual practices are integral to our experience of societal and environmental transformation. Our second dimension is societal transformation. Our societal transformation looks like this. We are inspiring our members, our congregation, and our region to recognize and understand systemic issues of injustice and inequity. Our members are being challenged and empowered to become actively invested in advancing justice and equity in our region. Our commitment to justice and equity is resulting in deeper and more diverse connections in the region. Our efforts to create greater justice and equity are integral to our experience of spiritual and environmental transformation. And our third dimension is environmental transformation. Our environmental transformation looks like this. We are working to transform our relationship to the natural world and the web of life by calling our members, our congregation, and our region to environmental justice. We are examining and altering our individual and congregational practices so that they enhance the health of the larger environment. We are modeling in the region how individuals and groups practice environmental stewardship. Our activities and practices to protect the environment and promote environmental justice are integral to our experience of spiritual and societal transformation. If this vision and its dimensions are approved by the congregation at the congregational conversation in June, we are aware that leadership from the board and coordinating team and involvement of the congregation as a whole will be needed to answer these critical questions raised by members during the process. How might our mission and our ends support our vision? How might we become a more integral part of the community? How might we define membership? How might we name our congregation? Does the name Unitarian Universalist Church of Charlotte best serve this vision? How might our choices about locations and buildings facilitate our vision? How might we attract and retain members of all ages? How might we use technology while maintaining personal connections? How might we expand our ways to access and participate in the congregation? How might we define spirituality and our religious values? How might we create a more diverse and pluralistic congregation? How might we enable new groups to form? What is our relationship to other UU congregations in the region, state, and the country? Now that you've heard our original presentation, we invite you to offer feedback on the vision statement and framework by reflecting on the following questions. As a general framework, does this work and does it make sense? Does this capture the vision of an inspiring UUCC in the 21st century? What's missing? Are there suggested changes to the specific language of the vision framework? Please visit the email from the UUCC containing the vision statement to view the document again in its entirety. You can email any thoughts and comments to Jan McNeely at jrdmcnl neely@gmail.com. We also invite you to participate in 2 small group sessions between services on March 6th and March 20th to give your feedback in person. The next steps for the process include continuing to meet with members to present the vision statement, and then refining that vision statement based on feedback received. We will then present the updated vision statement for consensus and support from the congregation, as well as presenting it to the board for approval to add it to the congregational conversation agenda. In June, we will have a congregational vote to approve the vision in our congregational conversation. Thank you for your participation in this process. The vision is the product of the whole congregation, and we are grateful for your attention and contributions to this effort.